Do you, like many of us, have issues trusting others? Well, watch this.
This is your life, no one else has gotta live it. This is your fight that only you can win.
Hello everyone and welcome to Freedom Friday, where you learn how to free yourself and live your dreams. I'm Darienne, your certified spiritual rock star. And if you want to get these videos every single week, be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications, the little bell on your mobile device. All right, guys. So somebody asked me a question a little while ago. I cannot remember who asked me this question because I'm not very organized in my comment reading. I don't write things down. I'm just like, oh, like somebody asks a question and I'm like, oh, that's a good question. Oh, I could say this. Oh, I could say this. And I just get excited about what I'm going to say. And then I'm like, oh, damn, who asked me that question? I want to give them a shout out about it, but I can't. So somebody asked me a question about trusting others, and I was inspired to talk about this here. So a few bits of inspiration have come to me here and there. So I want to talk about, I'm assuming that the person asked me the question about trusting others as it pertains to like a romantic relationship. And so I've been in relationships where either they didn't trust me or I needed to trust them, or I've been cheated on before, they've been cheated on before, vice versa. I'm going out here, and so one thing that I realized for shizzle is that trust is a choice. Trusting someone is just a choice that you make. It's just like choosing to have blind faith. It's pretty much the exact same thing as choosing to have blind faith. And so last week I was in a one-on-one client session, and this idea came to me, or these words came to me as they were speaking, and this just sort of gave me this little, almost like a mantra to remember. And so it came like this: trust is a choice, surrender is a practice, and trust takes surrender. So when you have blind faith, there is a great deal of surrender that happens there. You have to really just choose to trust someone. Even if your internal voice is like, no, I'm totally scared, this person's gonna hurt me, yada, yada, yada. If you really want to have a successful relationship, there has to be trust there. And you can't wait around for that person to prove to you that you can trust them. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, you don't want to trust somebody that has proven to you time and time again that you can't trust them. I mean, that would just be dumb. But if they've really not given you a really good reason, and it's just like you've got this fear that's coming up, or maybe they've done a few things that reminded you of an ex that had cheated on you, and ultimately, if we're talking on a spiritual level and like a law of attraction type of situation here, if you choose to look at all the reasons why they've given you not to trust them, and not trust them because of all of the evidence they've given you not to, you're only going to perpetuate that more. You're only going to create more reasons not to trust them. And so if you choose blindly, that came out weird, but if you choose blindly to just trust and exude the feeling of trust, I trust you, then you will attract the parts of them that you can trust. You will attract a relationship that is trustworthy if you really truly just choose to trust and surrender everything else. Like, trust is a choice, and when you make a decision, it's this or that, and there's no turning back. And you choose to just surrender all of the fears. You choose to surrender all of the worries and all of the other shit, and say, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're talking to, I choose to trust you. So that is the first part about just my little input about trusting others. I'm sure there's tons and tons and tons of different situations, and that you'll all probably have some sort of comment about. But that really is just my input when it comes to trusting someone. It's really about choosing. But there's this other aspect to trusting that I think could really use some self-examination here. So where is the lack of trust coming from? Let's talk about that. Ooh, I could feel all of you go like, oh, she wants to talk about that. Yes, I want to talk about that. Oh, she wants to talk about something within me? What? I don't want to do that. I want to just keep pointing my finger at this person because he's not trustworthy and I need somebody that's trustworthy. Let's talk about what's coming from here and here, the heart central. Where is this mistrust coming from? So do you have, this is just like I said, it's just a little, like you can just maybe ask yourself these questions. Do you have this mindset about you that says, if this person does not act in this way, then he is going to hurt me or she is going to hurt me? If this person does this, then I'm not going to be okay. If this person is not dependably the same in reacting in the way I need them to react in order to feel good, if this person is not reacting all the time in this way, then I can't be with them. So let's just talk about this, because when you look at someone, when you put that much responsibility on another human being's shoulders, another human being who has their own agenda in life, just as you have an agenda to feel good, they have an agenda to feel good, and you're always not going to be the answer to that, and they're always not going to be the answer to your happiness. And so the two of you cannot depend on one another to constantly always be the root of the other person's happiness, right? So let's explore that. If you have really, really deep trust issues, and trust me, I got some deep trust issues too that I'm going to be exploring as I talk to you about this, maybe after I get off of here. But for me, it's more in my business, a little bit different, but so think about that. Right now, I'm feeling some heart chakra stuff, right? Like come up, whether it's probably a lot of your stuff that I'm feeling. And it's like, but they're going to hurt me. But what if they hurt me? And it's, where is that pain coming from? Is it like, if this person goes out and cheats on you, that's going to hurt you? You're going to immediately say that because of your actions, someone outside of you, because of their actions, is an excuse for you to sacrifice your own happiness? That might be a little ass backwards. It's some people are okay. If you want to be in a relationship where you're like, I need to know that I can trust you, and vice versa. And that's great. That's wonderful. Have that. But if you want to go deeper, this is what this channel is about. This channel is not just about like, I just want to have a trustworthy man and I want him to be perfect and that's how I'm going to be happy. It's more about, and you are absolutely entitled to your desires, but it's more about, why can't you have that for yourself? Do you need to have that man? I'm not saying you're not entitled to having that man, but do you need to have that man? And does he need to be perfect 100% of the time in order for you to be happy? Because you are sacrificing your happiness everywhere in between. Everywhere he's not acting according to your expectations, according to your needs for him to act in a certain way. This is what Abe Hicks talks about as conditional living, saying that you need certain conditions to be a certain way for you to be able to be happy, to be fulfilled, to feel safe. A lot of people on my live Q&A call, or my live YouTube live that I did a couple weeks ago, a lot of people said that in another relationship, in another partner, a significant other, what they desire is to feel safe. And what I felt when they said that was not that they had a desire to feel safe, but they had a fear of feeling unsafe. That's what I felt when they said it, when a lot of them said it. I just don't want a man that's going to hurt me. I just don't want a man that's going to treat me wrong. I just don't want a man. That's not you focusing on safety and security. And the truth is that safety and security must come from you. The feeling of safety and security must come from you before you can manifest it in a man. Now, you will manifest it in someone, because there's probably plenty of people who are like, oh no, I totally have a man that's like, totally gives me everything I need. One day, that is going to run out, and he's going to resent you for making him responsible for your happiness. And then that relationship that you were so insanely happy in the relationship, and I am literally talking to myself right now, the relationship that you once thought was absolutely perfect, was the answer to all of your prayers, it will crumble and you will lose it, and you will not understand why you just lost this relationship. And it's because one of the reasons is probably because you made him responsible for your happiness. There are a lot of men and women too. This is, not trying. I'm just talking about the women that came on and said that they want safety in my live call. But this happens on both sides of the spectrum here. But there are people out there that they feel a sense of themselves, or they get a sense of self when they make other people happy. It's like, this is called codependency. That's what doctors would describe that as. But and they get praise, right? So like these men, there's these perfect men, they like fit into this perfect bubble of like, oh, you can take him home to your mama, and he's a gentleman, and he dresses perfectly, and he does this, and he pays for everything, and and like he fits in this perfect mode and this mold. And the man, there's a lot of men that are like, yes, I am Mr. Perfect, And they almost need that to get a sense of themselves. Not saying that that's wrong. We're all in our own path. Trust me. I've got my own persona so that and roles that I fill. But eventually resentment starts to kick in. And I feel like I'm talking about my past relationship right now. Where I needed a perfect man. And I needed a man that was trustworthy. And, even him I didn't trust, And I remember having to just make the fucking decision to trust him, or I was going to be in a relationship where there was no trust, and that was pointless. But I pretty much drove him into the ground of just I put so much on his shoulders, it's your job to make me happy. And I was the sacrificing woman. And so I think that there's a lot that when you have trust issues, there's a lot that you could examine. If we're talking on a spiritual level, if you want to be able to manifest people that are trustworthy and really healthy, then you have to exude the feelings of trust. But in order to do that, you almost have to stop making other people responsible for your own sense of security. A lot of you heard me on that one, didn't you? I felt that. I felt a shift when I said that. A lot of you heard me. Not all of you, but a lot of you heard me. And so the other thing goes, everybody is not perfect all the time, right? You have good days and bad days. There's going to be times where you look at your man and you're like, fuck you, man. I don't have time for this. Don't fucking talk to me. And you're going to hurt his feelings. And you're not going to do it because you meant to hurt his feelings, but you're just dude, I had a shitty day. Or you're going to say something that triggers one another. Human beings are all over the place, right? We're light and dark. We're up and down. We're left and right. We're fucking opposites all the time. You cannot trust that. You just can't fucking trust that. You can't trust. The only thing that you can trust is that human beings are going to consistently change. That's the only thing that you can trust, is they're going to be consistently doing this, moving back and forth, going with the flow. The flow is flowing. It's not stagnant. Now let's talk about real trust. The real and probably only safe thing to trust in is what you may call God, spirit, the universe, your inner being. The thing that is constant, right? So God and the universe and your inner being. So let's talk spirit. Spirit keeps a constant vibration of love and positivity. Spirit keeps a constant vibration of that. That is what you should trust in. And if you want to exude an energy of trust, Start trusting in that, because that's the only real thing that you can trust. And I don't want you to start to feel cynical about it, but you really, you can trust in the spirit of human beings. You can't trust that you're always going to see their spirit, because you're not always going to be in the vortex, and they're not always going to be in the vortex. You're not always going to be on your high-flying disc, floating with heaven. You're not always going to be there. That's why we're here, because we chose contrast. We chose to live in contrast. We chose to live in the opposing duality. We chose to live in duality. And so you cannot, like, the energy that of what you desire to trust in. So what I'm thinking is, like, your idea of someone being trustworthy is that they're consistently there for you all the time, or they're consistently this way all the time, or they consistently do not cheat on you all the time, or they consistently, have compassion for you all the time. You cannot depend on people like that. I don't give a shit who you are. I have girlfriends that are my sisters. I love them to fucking death. They have been there for me through thick and motherfucking thin. They see me when nobody else does, but I cannot expect them to always be on the ball, seeing me all the time. They're gonna have their shitty days too. And I can't always depend on them to fulfill me. That's where we need to get things a little bit rewired. All right? So a lot's drudged up right now, I think, for me personally, and I think for a lot of you watching. And I think that now we've got some shit to work on now, don't we? Now we're like, oh, fuck. I feel some things, This is the perfect time to get down on your knees in front of your altar or in your meditation and surrender this fear to God, to spirit, to your inner being. This is the time to surrender this. So I will go back to my little phrase. Trust is a choice. Surrender is a practice. And trust takes surrender. Lean your trust on God, not other people. Lean your trust on God, not the world, right? Because the world is always changing. God is ever present, ever constant, ever love. Okay? A lot of heart chakra work to do, but that's your work, right? That's not other people's. And it's not their job to work on you and your heart chakra. That's your fucking work, Take care of yourself. And it's also not my job. It's not my job to do your work. So many people come on here and they get mad at me. It's not my job to do your work, honey child. It is not my job. Not all of you. A lot of you are totally take responsibility for your own shit. And I fucking commend you. But for the other people that don't, the people that get mad at me, it's not my fucking job to do your work. If I trigger you, let's talk about this just really quickly. I know I'm running really long today, but if I trigger you, that's not my work. If I trigger you and your heart chakra goes, oh, that hurt me, that shit, the shit that you're left with is not my fucking work. If you trigger me, or all this shit I just talked about that I'm feeling a little bit triggered right now, that's my work. It's not yours. This is my work, and I'm going to work on. It's for me to surrender to my own inner being, and for you, your work, to surrender to your own inner being. Not for you to dump it on me or me to dump it on you or other people or anything like that. Shit is your work. You want to be happy? You want to free yourself and live your mother effing dreams? I don't know why I'm getting so rowdy right now, but it's your work. This is your life. No one else has got to live it. That's my intro song. All right, guys. I love you. This is some heavy shit today. I have trust issues. I'm totally putting it out there. I have total trust issues. More in my business than in relationships, but still in relationships. I have trust issues. I don't trust people for shit. I don't trust people that people are capable of doing what I'm capable of when it's something that I'm very, very passionate about. That's just my thing. So that's my shit. I'm going to go work on it, okay? You go work on yours, I'll go work on mine. Comment below with what shit you're working on, all right? I was just vulnerable and open. Told you what shit I'm working on. Tell me what shit you're working on. What's your shit? Did you get triggered? Because I sure did. So let me know. We're all here together. Just imagine this beautiful white bubble around us right now. We are protected. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful space. Anyone that is ill-intended is just going to be booted the F out by our beautiful spirit. And we're taking the time to like shift because we deserve to be happy. And this is just a block, right? It's just a thought we kept having. It's just a belief system that can not so easily, but it can easily, it just takes a little bit of time. It can be shifted, right? It can be shifted to love. So let's just say a quick little prayer. Inner being, God, Spirit, I surrender all of these fears to you. I surrender this trigger to you, this heart chakra stuff to you, these trust issues to you. I surrender this to you to be transformed into love. Please, please teach me what I am to know from this. Please teach me what I am to know from this. Show me with clarity and just clear vision what I am to know and how I am to grow from this. Amen. And so it is. All right, guys. That was good, right? I felt good. You guys were with me on that. All right. I love you very much. And I will see you next week, my darlings. Mwah! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that one. It was kind of juicy today. So, in the meantime, until next week, find me on social media. Every single day, almost every single day, I do a Facebook Live broadcast of me doing the A Course in Miracles daily workbook lessons. I pop through on Instagram here and there, and I have a new membership program. So if you want to get some deeper, more one-on-one type coaching with me, go check that out at DarienneEmpire.com/membership. All right, guys, I love you very much, and I will give you this. I'm starting to call it my vintage Freedom Friday videos. I don't know. We'll see. Check this out. Bye, guys.